Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our show. I am so happy to be back with you guys once again. Today, we are going to be talking about one of life's biggest challenges, feeling lost. Whether it's a lack of direction in your career, a feeling of disconnection from your relationships, or just a general sense of purposelessness. It can be really tough to find your footing when you feel like you're just drifting away. But don't worry, you are not alone. A lot of people go through this at many points in their life. And I myself, I am currently going through this right now, which is why I was so inspired to create today's episode. Before we get started, guys, thank you so much for the 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast and for also leaving comments under your review. I really appreciate it. It really does help the podcast continue to grow, and it's a really great way to say thank you if you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Spiritually Me podcast that helps you connect with that beautiful and eternal being within you. Whether you're new to spirituality or a seasoned practitioner, this is the show for you. As someone who has struggled with my inner voice and felt unsure of how to live a life that aligns with my soul, I know how confusing it can be. That's why I created this podcast, to help others find the clarity, peace, and purpose that I have found in my own journey. So if you're craving guidance, support on your journey towards spiritual awakening and divine connection, tune into this podcast for your weekly dose of inspiration. I'm Dulce Candy, your Latina sister, and this is Spiritually Me. Let's begin by talking about the first practical steps. And I definitely wanted to give you guys actionable steps, because I don't just want to share my life experience. I want you to be able to take action and do these things today so they can help you if you are feeling the way that I'm feeling and the way a lot of people are feeling nowadays. So the last time that I went through an existential life crisis, which is another way of classifying just feeling lost in life, I was 25. So the first thing that we have to do and that I've been doing is just bringing more awareness to this feeling of disconnect and the feeling of just having no purpose. There are moments that I have grasped throughout my life where I feel like I found my purpose. Sometimes I feel like it's connected with my career because it's a big part of my life, and my purpose has to be tied to my career somehow because I'm not the person to separate both of them. There's moments where I was like, oh, wow. I feel like humans make it so complicated. I feel like the purpose of life is just to be alive and to be happy in the moment if you can, to enjoy the moment, be present, and be happy with what is. There's nothing more to that. My purpose doesn't have to be tied to doing something out in the world. An act of service doesn't have to be my purpose. So I kind of go back between both of them. Appreciate the good times and the bad times, rejoice in the great times, and just know that the good comes from God and the bad also comes from God, And so whatever challenges that you and I might be going through right now, these are also sent from God. That's something that I repeat in my mind over and over is I have faith in you. I have faith in a higher power that whatever challenges are in my path right now are making me a stronger person and individual, and they really are doing that to us, so just knowing that the good and the bad both come from God is comforting to me, because it just means that it's not just happening for no reason. So the first thing that we have to do is, again, just bring awareness to why we feel the way that we feel, right? If we don't take the time to think about, why am I feeling empty inside? Why do I feel disconnected with my relationships, with my career, with my life, with my whole life in general? Why do I feel this separation from life? Maybe you feel like your life is just lacking purpose or meaning, and understanding the root of our feelings can really help us identify what specific areas of our lives do we need to work on. So that's step one. I have some really great journaling questions that I wrote. They're going to be in the show notes, so I would really encourage you guys to spend some time journaling, and that's why I believe in the power of journaling. is because it allows us to get that clarity that we need, but we also need to give ourselves the space and the time to do that. The next practical thing that we can start to do is by making a list of the things that we are passionate about, the things that pique our interest, right? This is one of the best ways to regain a sense of purpose. It's just to reconnect with our interests or passions. And maybe this is something brand new that you're interested or passionate about, right? So for me, it's been more about feeling like I'm not passionate about the things that I used to be passionate about. Make a list of like the things that you would love to do in your free time. What are your favorite hobbies now at this point as the woman or man that you are today? What makes you feel truly alive? What puts you in the zone? And the zone is that state of being where you're not even aware of time. You know how you have those things that you do, those activities that you do, and then you're like, oh my God, like 2 hours just went by and they felt like maybe 15 minutes. That is a really great indicator of something that is in alignment with your path in your life. And I feel like as humans, we don't really allow ourselves to have fun or pursue all of those different things because we're very conditioned to be in survival mode, to always be going after the next thing and searching for more outside of ourselves. And what is the next big thing that I can have, whether it be more followers, more money, a bigger house, a nicer car, more clothes, more, right? Definitely had me feeling very empty whenever I tap into the energy of survival mode. And one thing that I wanted to mention, guys, is I live in Los Angeles and it's one of my favorite cities in the world. I remember being a little girl and, I grew up in Oxnard, California, Camarillo area. And it's not that far from Los Angeles. And I always said that I wanted to live in LA. Like that was just the city that I just saw myself. And whenever I travel outside of LA and I come home just to, like the plane is just hovering over Los Angeles, it feels like home to me. Like this is my home. If I feel comforted just by being here. Whenever I traveled somewhere else, another city, and I'm about to land and I just see like the skyline of the city, I feel not safe. I don't feel at home because it's not my home. And I feel just not safe. It doesn't feel comforting for me. But LA has always been my comfort zone. But I have to be honest, guys, as much as I love the weather and the diversity in people and cultures and the flavor, the music, the fashion, the style here, the chill vibes. I love that I have Malibu here. All of my favorite healing places are here. The mountains, the snow, hills. I mean, there's literally everything. I feel like LA is so beautiful. But the energy of LA is also very dense. There's so many people here. There's so many cars. There's so much noise. The houses are like really like next door to each other, very, very tight. And the energy is very dense. And the energy of LA is also very like masculine, very driven. You got to just keep going and going and going and reach for the next and be more successful and do all of those things. I'm going through a time where I am redefining, well, what is success for me? What does it really look like? What do I really want? I feel like my soul is being called to other areas of the country, somewhere where there is more land, more nature, more spaciousness, less density, more maybe rural, and if I'm not happy over there, I can always come back with my family back to LA. But this is one of the things that really doesn't feel like it resonates with me. It's just being here anymore. Make some time for the things that really light your soul on fire. Make some time to maybe take a class for something that is interesting for you. And something that I advocate for so much is pursuing your curiosity. What is that little idea that has been implemented into your mind? I believe from a higher source that is telling you, hey, take this class. You never know who you're going to meet there. You never know where that, maybe it's something that you do find yourself being passionate about, or maybe it's not. But I think it's so important that whenever you are feeling lost in life, or you're going through a time in your life where nothing feels like it has meaning anymore and you're questioning your existence and why you're here and all of that, we have to be able to actively pursue different things and put ourselves out there, right? And take action that's really big. Taking action to help us reconnect with what's important to us now at this point of our lives. And I think something really amazing also to just remember is, what if you woke up and you had amnesia and you had no idea who you were from like this moment back. Like you had no idea about your past, but you do remember your loved ones. You just don't remember who you used to be. You don't remember your accomplishments, your talents, your gifts. You don't remember any of that. Who would you be today? Isn't that such a great way of thinking about it? Like if we didn't have all that conditioning of like, well, I've done this before and I've been doing this. And since I was little, I used to love to draw. So I must have a passion for drawing or whatever. What if we had no idea who we were? What would you do today? How would you show up? What would you be interested in? What would you start, looking for as far as like things that you would be interested in? What would you spend your time doing? How would you spend your days if you had no idea who you were or who you've been your whole life? If you had a chance to start all over. And I also love to think about something that really helps me also is to think about like, especially like, for example, if I leave the house and run some errands and I'm alone and I'm about to walk through the front door, I do like to think about, and this is maybe a little bit dark. I don't actually think it's dark, but I think about like, what if I did die and God gave me a second chance to walk through that door and be with my family? How would I show up to them? How would I be with my husband and my children and my friends and my co-workers and my community? What kind of person would I be if God really gave me a second chance at life? Yeah, spend some time thinking about that, ladies. I'm definitely going to do that myself today. The next step is reevaluating. And this is in no order, but like the next thing that I would recommend is just to reevaluate your relationships. So take a moment to reflect on the people in your life and the role that they play. Are the relationships that are there no longer serving you in a positive way? Are there people in your life who are bringing you down or hold you back? So maybe consider letting go of relationships that are not serving you and seek out new connections with people who are supportive and uplifting. Yeah, that's such a big one, guys. I think I did my relationship clearing, I know I did, at the beginning of 2020. I mean, a lot of people did, right? But mine wasn't about the pandemic or anything. Mine was just about, again, going through the season of feeling lost. It's crazy because I've been on this journey for, like I said, I think 10 years, but more consciously in the past 3 years. And then I stopped doing a lot of things. I let go of my entire team and went independent completely. And a lot of things changed for me. But I just knew that a lot of relationships were not in alignment with me. Even if letting go of those relationships were my security blanket and things got even more challenging because I didn't have that support there anymore. For me, it was really important to stay true to myself, even if it gets a lot more challenging. But, the lesson here is to learn how to take care of yourself, to learn to not depend on other people, right? We want the support, of course, but we also have to be so able to take care of ourselves in every aspect. And the last thing that I would say is to seek out professional help if you are feeling lost also. I think it's important to know that you're not alone and that many people struggle with feelings of purposelessness. And seeking professional help can really be a great way to get the support that you need during this time. So consider reaching out to a therapist or a counselor or, someone who can help you work through these feelings and explore different strategies for finding meaning and fulfillment in your life. So there you have it, ladies. A few practical steps that you can take when you're feeling lost in life. Remember that it's normal to feel this way from time to time, and that the most important thing is to take action. Taking action with our new interests, our hobbies, making time for them, taking new classes, or taking the small steps towards a more fulfilling life can really make a big difference. Thank you so much for tuning in today's show. Until next time, have a blessed and beautiful day.